Okay. Hello, we're live. Welcome to the Magenta Show. Here with me, your TV host, Moira Bush. And I have got the fabulous island girl in the house, Caren Fern. Welcome, my darling.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you on the show. And just check out the colors, okay?
It's nice to be here.
So if you love the colors on the show today, would you please put in some lovely sunshine, fire energy, and go to those emojis. I think there's a little fireball energy that's so exciting.
Yes.
And let's put some orange in the house today. So thank you so much for being on the show. So the first thing we're going to do is ask our audience, and for those who are tuning in who are new and don't know the show, is to look at the bottles number 1, 2, or 3. So whichever one you are drawn to, number 1, 2, or 3, there's going to be at the end of the show a little color message for the week. And we've picked the bottle, so they don't know what it is yet, right? And I've mixed it up this week. Okay, fabulous. So Caren, you're a coach, and you help women sort out money. You're the founder of the Money Mindset Academy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask you, what made you focus? I mean, so just think about this. A lot of entrepreneurs watch the show. So we have issues as entrepreneurs with relationships, with getting clients, with making money, with keeping money when we make it.
Yes.
We have problems with marketing and social media and branding. And there's so many different arenas when you're self-employed that you've got to explore to set yourself up for success, to put yourself out into the world. Why did you choose to focus on money mindset?
Because you can't earn, receive money without understanding what's happening inside. Everything happens inside. And when you set your mind, when you start deciding and believing in you, things change. Money is a tool, we heard, it's so fluid, but our behavior really causes us to either keep it or let it go. And we have to pay a lot of attention to that. And so from my experiences over time, that's why I became a money mindset coach. I saw the need. I help a lot of people. And my previous clients, what they had in common was getting that mind to shift, to understand that it's okay to receive money.
That's a biggie, that receiving money. All right, let's have a look who's joined us here. Michael's got the screen up for us. So let's say good morning to Anne. Good morning, Anne. Good morning. Aurelia, Denmark. Shannon, hello, beautiful lady. Sue. And then we've got Elaine Pie. Hi, it's Elaine. Sue McLeod. Norma's joined us. Jeanette's from Spain's joined us. Nadira from Canada. Elaine says she's picking number 2. Ooh, that's my pick of the week is number 2. Nice one. Aurealia's also number 2 today. Oh, yeah. Golly me! Oh, we're in for it today.
In for a treat. A lot of
number
and
Sue's chosen number 2. Okay, Shannon's got number 1. So yes. Okay, that's fabulous. I have an idea who's picking which numbers here. So my darlings, I've got Coach Caren here with me, and I'm so excited. I've just spent a couple of hours chatting with her pre the show, and I have to tell you, I laid eyes, not just because she's all these colors, I love my colors. I just absolutely respect and love you instantly. We've had an amazing conversation, so I would love you guys to share the show, because I think there is a whole bunch of women out there that needs to hear what Caren is going to talk about today, and it's money mindset. She's the founder of the Money Mindset Academy. So your story started with oranges.
It did.
So if you want to know what money and oranges have in store, please stay tuned in and share the show. Okay. So you came from a family that, like a lot of us, parents divorced, and a country where poverty is rife, and you didn't have education, and I was shocked to hear that your grandmother said to you, you had to choose between an education and having food, and for you the education was being able to get on a bus to get to school. Exactly. So you either got money, you either got food, or you were given a bus ticket so you could get to school.
Yes.
And what did you choose?
I choose the food.
But you got to the school anyway.
Yes.
And how long did you have to walk to get to school?
2.5 hours.
2.5. Did you get that, guys? Eh? She walked 2.5. She was determined, I'm going to get my food, but I'm also going to go to school. And she walked 2.5 hours. Okay. Wow. Okay. So you understood poverty from that perspective.
Yes.
What made you realize you didn't have to stay in that pattern, in that story?
I was a child that loved math. And it got me excited when I multiply numbers. See what can happen. It's the best part of math. And I got excited about that, so...
And this is where the orange comes in.
I got excited about that. So after walking, back and forth for about 3 weeks and crying, mind you, about this, thing that, I said yes to, I got the message. And the message was, I was eating an orange and a friend of mine asked for a fag. And when she
segment,
yes. And we call it fag, sorry.
Island talk.
Yes.
I got the island girl in the house.
And after the third fag, I said to her, you're going to have to pay me.
Yeah.
And she went inside, came back out, and she gave me 5 cents. And she decided the price for the orange at that moment, and I said yes to it.
Wow. And then your maths came in and you started calculating how much the orange would earn you.
Immediately, because it's 5 cents for a whole orange. But I can sell this orange and make 60 cents. That's 55 cents profit.
Yeah.
Immediately. And the math brain just started going. How many I need to sell per day and per week? And what I can do.
Can you see why we're talking money mindset on the show today? You're never going to look at an orange the same way, I promise you. Karen Carrington. Hello, Karen's also joined in. Hello, Dawn has joined us as well. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please share the show because I have the fabulous island girl in the house today and we're talking, we're talking money mindset. Exactly. All right. Now, what is the biggest stumbling block for women entrepreneurs or just women handling money, that you come across?
I think one of the biggest things for women that we have to understand, most of us have a job before we go out to a job. So our first job is the home. That's a job. And when you're working in that job, it takes so much from you that when you decide to start a business or you're in a job and you're making money, it has so many places to go.
Yeah.
I want to tell you this. When you have money, and if you never touch it, and you sit with it, you will know where to take it. Yeah. But usually we spend it.
Yeah, it comes in and out that. Yeah.
One of the things I teach I have something called my 13 money principles. And one of them, I talk about the law of keeping. And keeping $20 in your purse and not touching it. And anytime something come up and you want to spend it, you find another way. And don't touch the $20. And if you keep doing that, all of a sudden you're $100, $200 in your purse because you're adding to it.
You're adding to it. Instead of not taking out. Yeah. Changing the energy of the flow of it.
Yes.
Oh, that's excellent. All right. Okay. Now, so I come from a home where we didn't learn about money at home, and the school system let me down as well. Never taught me about money. And so I have stories and beliefs in my head from when I was little as to what money is. And it was based on the story of how my parents thought about money and how the family thought about money. And you and I were having this discussion upstairs that story interferes with the way women work with money.
It does.
Because we take on those stories as our truth and the foundation that we then create or don't create enough money, right? We have lack of money. So what do you do to identify that story with clients and how do you help them overcome it and not believe in that story that's not theirs?
So one of the big things I do, I have my clients write their story. I have them write their story. They have to write their personal story and their business story if they're in business already. And then we go in and we dissect that story. We tear it apart. And we look for what is true and what is not. And all those little tiny lies that they've been feeding to themselves over and over.
Which is a story.
Part of them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I had a story with my mom. So let's see if we can dissect this one. So my mom was stay-at-home mom. And stepfather went out and earned money and he got paid weekly. And So I watched her go, well, she can't spend the week's money because there were some bills that came in at the end of the month. They weren't weekly bills. So she would take little white envelopes and she would put money away for the rent or for the electricity or for the monthly bills, right? She had this little money packet. So my first story around money was you plan. Is you make sure you don't just spend for what you need in the week. You need to think further down the line. So that was a good story.
It was.
That was a good story, right? But it all got shattered. I remember once, and I have on broadcast spoken about this before with mentors and guests. And I think I spoke about it in my Udemy course on which covered the 8 Colors of Prosperity. But one of the things that shattered for me was my mother one day decided that she was actually going to take some money and spend it on a fun thing. She was going to take me out for a fun day. So suddenly it wasn't just about plotting and planning and paying bills. Now joy suddenly came into the equation with what happened to those little white envelopes.
Right.
And what she did was she took me for an ice cream and to the circus. And I had ice cream and it was amazing. We sat in the circus. I'd never been to the circus and I was wide-eyed seeing elephants and lions and, it was extraordinary. And a handbag fell down between the floorboards and a guy next to us said, "Don't worry, ma'am, I'll climb down and fetch your bag for you." And he climbed down and came back up. And it wasn't until we were near home that my mom opened the handbag and realized he'd stolen her money and all her little white envelopes that she insisted on carrying with her everywhere. Now there's a money story.
So all the joy that you were feeling, all the happiness went away because you only keep remembering the sad part.
Yeah.
And it wasn't your fault. But you still would remember that. And that's what mostly we do. We only remember the bad stuff. It's not only, but mostly remember the bad stuff. Yeah. To remember joy, to remember happiness.
And the money can bring you joy.
Yeah, and happiness. Sometimes we take that out of the equation, right? It wasn't her fault. It wasn't your fault. Yeah. But that's what you're seeing. Yeah. And so if you're a client of mine, that's what I'll be saying, right? Yeah. This is what happened, but this doesn't have to continue happening. It doesn't have to keep playing over and over in your head.
Yeah. Because it's extraordinary. I know that money story has carried over in the way I manage my personal money. It's like I can plan for things, but the minute I have to plan for joy, I have a block to setting that money aside.
Which if you plan joy in, I often tell ladies also, even if you're thinking about a business and you haven't started yet, part of your budget planning, because that comes in with money mindset, part of your budget planning should have some fun things in there. Yeah. Right? So that's happening on a regular basis. So when you do those
vision boards.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm guilty of this because I know I have gone back to old vision board and booking. I like to do vision books that I've done. Is I will plan in the lovely home and the successful business, the books, all the things that are to do with what white envelopes are there to do. But the minute there's the envelope for let's have a vacation or a holiday, I failed to put that on my vision board in the early years because of that money story.
Yes. It stops you. Yeah. It really stops you. It's an effort to do it. To do whatever it is that is blocking you. Matter of fact, you need to do it immediately. You need to do it
I should do that first before I even plot and plan everything else.
This is why you're supposed to save, take out your money for savings before you do anything, because then you would never have it. 10% should be there for saving. I like 10% for giving, 10 for saving, and 10 for investing in something. And investing in whatever it is you can invest in at the moment. Yeah. Don't worry about the big picture. Whatever at the moment, because investing don't have to be bonds and that sort of thing. It just could be you're investing in somebody else to do something. Yes. And just giving you this idea that you're sewing into somebody.
And that means and what I like about that, letting that money go, that investment money go, that energy, then you don't have control over it because it's going to do what it needs to do.
Right.
And that's when you can be surprised.
Yes.
Excellent. Let's see who else has joined us here. Margaret Dollar Flynn. Well, what an extraordinary middle name to have, Margaret, with dollar in there, just as we're talking about money mindset. And
Margaret.
And Mark Dunn has joined us. Mark Dunn was an extraordinary guest. He was our guest here last week. Go back and watch his episode.
I did watch a piece
Did you
of
watch
it?
him?
Yes.
He's a lovely man. And Ting Su Yen has joined us and says, I have about six vacations on my vision board.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
I can recommend you go to the islands. go spend some money in Ghana. Yeah. That's fabulous. Okay, so What else I want to ask you, just based on the conversation that we had upstairs, is you have an opportunity to, because you when you came to Canada, you were 26 when you came.
Yes.
You decided it was going to be education,
Yes.
but you went through this, where you got a job, and then you had partnerships and business, and you had jobs, and studied, and you did this little, nothing worked out the way you thought, right? Okay, God had other plans for you very clearly. But if you look at your children now, and because you also got 2 grandchildren, right?
Yes.
How are you educating them differently about money compared to how you were educated back home?
I guess, first of all, we talk about it. That's the main thing. That's the first, because it was never spoken about. You never know how much was made and what it paid and that sort of thing. So that was the first thing I wanted to talk to them about it. And then I started with the allowance so that we can have the conversation. And the allowance was not based on the work you do. Mm-hmm. It was based on your age. They had chores and they had to get their chores done. So in that allowance, they had to split it in thirds. Again, for giving, for saving, and for spending. They didn't have to worry about the investment part of things, but we spoke on it. But their thing was to give, save, and spend. So when we get to the store and we go out together, they've been saving. We get to the bank, they put a portion there, and then they have the spending. So they get to see, if I wanted to buy a tree today and I don't have enough money, how much do I need to save to get the tree? And what can I get today? And they start developing their own sense of money. So they wanted a big item, they had to wait.
Yeah. It took a while, the planning, yeah. I think we're the economy systems that we're in now have really spoiled us. There were days when if you wanted to buy a house or a car, you saved up. And of course now you get these 0% loans and interest, and you can buy a car now even though it's, without putting any money down. I mean, it's really quite, there's no energy of you putting in. You can just suddenly get this stuff. And you don't value it, and you can get into financial hardships because of that. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you foresee as your financial future? What does it look like? Share your vision with us. Where are you going with this?
My vision, really, I think all this came together too. My vision is I know to do so many things, and I'm really great at doing them. And one of the things I wanted the Money Mindset Academy to do is to highlight those skills in a way into courses where whatever it is I've done and really did great in, they're there in courses that people can follow a system, because I really believe in system. Everything is systemized for me. And so it's in the system, and you can get it in and you can do it. So I see the Money Mindset Academy as this place where people go, and once they're doing the stuff they're supposed to do, they're going to make oodles of money. And they're going to learn what to do with it, because it's not only the making, but what do you do with it when you get it?
Yeah. Can you see what I've got here on my set, darlings? I asked her a question, where's her vision for money? And she immediately takes it to where's your vision and how she can help other people. You see why I just love her? It's like, no, don't worry about me. I'm just going to worry about everybody else out there and make the world a wonderful place for them.
Because it comes right back.
Yeah. And I think you're international. You're not tied down because you've lived in another country and you've immigrated to Canada. Online courses is important because you can create this for anybody in the world to access and learn from you, and especially to make it affordable and accessible for people back home. Right?
Yes.
Because they're the ones who need it. We always got to think about how do we give back to our roots.
Mm-hmm.
Is that important for you?
Oh, that's important for me. Yeah. That's really important because. And I've coached people who just getting them to understand that where you are right now is just so temporary.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you're in it, it feels so precious that you can't begin to understand how temporary it is. And so to get them to shift, to just see that doing this and the doing is so hard for most because you can't see immediate gratification. And so you don't want to do. But it's that in that doing, other things come and pull.
And consistency.
Consistency.
I say this to everybody. Turn up.
Yes. Consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. You got focus, consistency, and you get results.
Yeah. That's why we still 2 years down the line turn up at 11 o'clock on a Monday, consistently broadcast our messages and the amazing people that we meet on our journey here in Canada. All right, so let's have a look. Has anybody got a question for us? Okay, there are no questions. Dwayne Riches has joined us. He's our color money guru.
Oh,
and
hi,
Helen and
Dwayne. Nikki and Helen.
Fabulous. Well, that's amazing. I've got lots of people who joined us today. All right. So and please remember, guys, to put in the comments column if you're drawn to number 1, 2, or 3, and you're going to get it's going to be a little bit of a surprise today. I think colors we haven't had for a long time on the show as your color pick of the week. So pick 1, 2, or 3, and I'll reveal it at the end of the show for you. Okay. So I would like to know, how can I help you? I work with color. Color is the language of light. It's literally a way that God or your soul or your spirit guides, your whatever it is you believe in, can speak to you through the language of light to give you advice and guidance. So have you got a burning question or something you'd like to explore and have a little chat with me about that you can pick bottles?
Well, I've got a new program coming out called the 4-hour workday. And
a 4-hour workday.
Workday, yeah.
Okay. Hashtag 4 hour. I want one of those. 4-hour workday. I love it already. You don't need colors. Yes, do it. Okay, come ask me your question.
And I know people need to focus and they need consistency, which is going to give them results. Mm-hmm. And I know part of that program, when you hear that, 4 hours, people love it, people understand it, but people are panicking. Could I really do it?
Yeah.
So that's the question
for
you.
All right.
Do you think they can do it?
So is it about you getting that marketing message across to them that yes, it's possible?
Yes.
Or is that the kind of, you need to sell the concept to them?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do, my darling, is to turn around, look at the wall of bottles, and then I'm going to ask you to pick me a bottle that you're drawn to that says this is... Okay, that's the message. Pop it down, and then I want you to pick one that you feel could be a block to the message, to the story of getting out the 4-hour workday concept. What could be the block? Okay, and then I want you to pick a third one that says if we had to say this was successful, what would it look like? What is the future? All right, cool. Excellent. Okay, so you've picked bottle 27 and orange again. Oranges, no lemons, oranges on the show today. Sitting here with the goal 27 is called Harvest. So what you're really telling people here is that they can set themselves up, and then I think the message maybe needs to be you can set yourself up to do this 4-hour workday, and you're going to reap what you sow. This is about planning and putting things in place where you're going to harvest energy, because I think what you're saying is not just to scatter the seeds on the fields and leaving it there. This is about teaching people you're gonna first toil, put oxygen in, put the seeds in, put some fertilizer on, and water it and nurture it, and then you're gonna have this harvest. Okay, and if you follow those steps, you can get down to your 4-hour day. So using the harvesting. And we're in harvest season here as well. Pumpkin season, crazy, silly orange season. It's so amazing here in October with your orange colors and orange stories. Ooh. But it's about putting the message across that this is about harvesting and planting your money seeds correctly.
Yes.
So that you can get to that 4-hour. Because I think if you say to people, hey, you can have a 4-hour week, then immediately they're going to go, how? So you need to have that answer ready.
Yes.
So remember, when you harvest, you don't just toss your money out there. There's a process. There's steps involved.
Yes.
So that's how you can get them to invest in the idea of learning that's those steps from you. Okay. Is that useful?
Yes.
Harvest. Use the word harvest. Right. The next one is, if there's a potential block, what are the blocks the clients are going to face or that you might come up against? And it's 26 partnership bottle. This is when hubbies aren't on board. We had that conversation too earlier. So you need to be ready to maybe help them deal with a potential block, which is if they're going to, because this happens, right? You learn how to manage money. You want to implement a different money system or money management system at home, and your partner's not on board. And they don't understand, or they have their system, they believe in it, suddenly you want to do things differently. Mm-hmm. So this, you need to be ready with that.
Yes.
So it might be that there's a bonus lesson to go with this program to say, if you come up against a partner or a family member or a husband or a wife saying they're not on board with you and they are giving resistance, how can you help navigate through that? So it might be that you get a little bit personal there,
Yeah.
a little bit of, is that useful?
It is useful.
Yeah, because we said
it is useful.
It happens.
Yes, yes.
It's useful. Watch out for the partners who don't want to fall. Let's step number 1 on the partnership bonus course. Tell hubby he only needs to work 4 hours. Just give me a chance to prove it. All right, okay, and then the outcome and where you're going with this, you've picked Bottle City 5, and it's like a blue lilac and a pale green, and it's about your communication, your courses landing in a soft green field of, it's literally the seeds are sprouting and there's the fields of green with all the beautiful harvest ready for you. So and the platinum is communication. So I would suggest to add to this is a lot of broadcasts, a lot of social media broadcasts, Facebook Lives, set yourself up to be a speaker on stage. I think get that communication of what it is you're offering to people, because one of the ways back to saying, hey, I have this harvesting system that's going to help you create your 4-hour day, is you need to reach them through a platform of speaking on stage. Does that make sense? So you approach organizations and groups of women organizations, for example, and say, hey, would you allow me to come and speak, allow me to come and tell you about this 4-hour day that you can have in your business. How's that sound? She likes it. I love it.
Janet said that I love you, reap what you sow. I love managing money.
Joanne says, I want a 4-hour workday. Joanne, I don't know what will happen in your job if you went to your boss and said that, but certainly if you're self-employed, you can make those decisions. Yes. Get self-employed, girl.
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else I can help you with? Is this clear? Do you need something more?
This is clear because I think my eyes was drawn to this because this is kind of a soothing area. It feels like it's, the water, the sea, that sort of thing. So
very island-like colors.
Yes.
It is. Okay. Yeah, I think you just need to do a bit of legwork, and legwork I mean that by speaking on stage, speaking to groups of women, having someone invite a couple of friends to their home, and you're standing in the kitchen and talking to them over a cup of tea or glass of wine, my way of doing things, and telling them about your program and getting the message out there, but definitely some social media as well.
Yes. For sure.
Is that good? All right, excellent. So what we'll do is we'll move on to the audience's pick of the week. Okay. So those of you who picked number 1, and I believe Shannon picked number 1.
Yeah,
She picked number 1. You have picked, my darling, Michael, our producer's bottle of the week, and he went and picked orange. We laughed at this because it was so unplanned. He didn't know what we were talking about, oranges. So Michael was tuning in through the floorboards, I think. So for those of you who picked number 1, you've got bottle C2 in the color mirror system. And this is a bottle that's gold and orange. And this is one that's all about creativity. This activates creativity. Remember when your orange popped open and suddenly the numbers started and you had this idea to make money. So if you are looking for ways to increase income in your business, if you are looking for ways to just expand in your business, if you are in and you're not even in a business, you're in a job, or you're just at your home, and you just want things to change, the key here, if you've picked number 1, is tap into your creative center. And it's a center that sits in your body just below your belly button, because C stands for chakra. So it says focus and breathe into that area below your belly button. Breathe in there and just give the universe permission. Just go, I am creative, and I give the universe permission to flood me with creative ideas. And then you wait, because it'll turn up. The inspiration will come. Like your orange.
Oh yeah. That's the weight sometimes is difficult for people, but really that little weight, it's not long. It just seems long.
It just seems long at the time.
Yes.
But it will come.
It'll come.
Yeah. All right. So that's for number 1. So those of you who picked number 2, you have got my pick of the week, and it is G2. It's copper. Copper top and bottom. You can see I'm in this kind of a beigey, coppery mode here today. So I know there's something going on. Whenever somebody actually picks the copper colors, it's because they're at a time they're a little bit unsure of who they are, what they're meant to do as their next step. They've come through a rebirth. They've come through a process of change. And they're coming out of things are still a bit muddy and not clear, and deciding what I want to toss away, what I want to keep. So for those of you who picked number 2, you probably, like me, have been through a rebirth, and September was one heck of a rebirth for me. I wrote about it on a post in Facebook, and lots of changes and thoughts and mindset shifts had to happen, and I'm still busy figuring out what I want to keep and what I want to let go.
Right.
So for those of you, my darlings, who've picked number 2 with me, you have my empathy, you have my sympathy, and I'm sorry. I know it's been a difficult September, but you know what, it's good that we're seeing the copper color, because it says we're over the hump now, right? We're over the shoe has dropped on the other foot, so things are going to become clear from here on. Okay. And those of you who picked number 3, you have picked our guest, Coach Caren's pick of the week, and she has, I'm just going to move that over there. She has picked C1. So those of you who picked number 3, she's picked a red and coral bottle. And it's all about money. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
So C1 relates to the base chakra, which is the chakra and the area of our body that relates to survival and making money. But the coral also talks about the fun aspect of it, enjoying and the luxury of it and planning for those vacations.
Yes.
It's just a conversation we had wrapped up in one bottle. So for those of you who picked number 3, I want you to think about making sure that you check and go back on your vision boards and check that you've put your joy into the planning as well.
Yes, a must. It's a must. Yeah, we leave that out way too much. We feel guilty if we do it, Again, carrying people's story, that's where the guilt is coming from. Yeah. Because you feel a certain way, and then part of you is saying, but should I feel this way? Or if I'm feeling this way, who is not being able to feel that way? Yeah. When it's really, you're supposed to just feel what you're feeling, and it's okay.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. How can people get hold of you, Caren?
You can find me everywhere at Island Girl Hustle. Facebook,
Island Girl Hustle.
I've got a Facebook group, Island Girl Hustle. And we talk a lot about the hustle, because sometimes people think hustle is a dirty word, and I don't think it is. I think no matter what stage of business you're in, you are hustling, just maybe not in the way that you hear the word or know the meaning of the word, but you're still doing your hustle. And
I love it.
That's what I grew up doing. That's what I keep doing.
You hustled oranges. Oh, lovely. All right, so you can get her, and I saw you're also on LinkedIn, so people can find you on LinkedIn as well.
Island Girl Hustle, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, everywhere I'm Island Girl Hustle.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, thank you. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your glorious colors with the audience today. We really appreciate you and sharing your information. Please, you got to connect with this Island Girl. She is amazing. Caren, Fern, thank you so much for being on the show, darling.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
This was a blast.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to ask you. Did you have a gift for the audience?
I do.
You see here, I'm having one of those days. I'm still muddy. I'm still muddy and cloudy up here. Okay. You have a gift. Please tell the audience.
I've gifted the show a 2-hour coaching session with me.
Wow.
That's a value of $1,000. But you guys come in there, and whoever wins the gift, we're gonna have a blast.
We're gonna have a blast.
That's it. We're gonna find some joy in there. We're gonna tear apart, and we're gonna look at things we need to look at to get you moving and grooving.
Okay, if you want to win that fabulous prize with Coach Caren, you need to have shared this show to be entered into the draw, okay? Share it in your timeline, share it in your group, share it in your pages, share, because we can track exactly who shares and how many times, because Facebook gives us that information.
Yes.
Those names go into the hat, and we will draw it at the end of the week and see who wins. That's very generous of you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Yes.
Yeah. All right, so, okay, I'm now not so muddy. I'm clear. Thank you, my darlings. We love you lots, and we'll see you next week on the Magenta Show.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.